Welcome to another edition of TheDPost.com's For All Season Sports Show. I'm sports editor Drew Rubenstein, and I'm joined again with publisher Dave Racy, who spent a number of years covering the Mountaineers and local Morgantown sports. And Dave, it's been an interesting week already for the Mountaineers, not for anything that happened on the field at Oklahoma, but more so of what may have happened in Joe DeForest's past at Oklahoma State. Sports Illustrated came out with part one of a five-part series looking into the Oklahoma State football program specifically, and Joe DeForest is mentioned frequently throughout the first article. Specifically, I think it's 5 or 6 players for the Cowboys mentioned that Joe DeForest either paid them or they saw him pay other players. Obviously, the NCAA hasn't had any official word here yet. Neither have either school. They're doing internal investigations at Oklahoma State and WVU. But I guess let's just start off initial impressions when you've kind of seen everything come out here.
Well, I would say, yeah, you're always shocked that something like this would happen. You know, all the universities and the major football programs and basketball programs and the coaches and the athletic directors and the presidents all say we run a clean ship here, and then all of a sudden one of them gets caught or exposed and things like that, and there's a shock that goes around through the whole system. But I guess my thing is that I don't think we should be shocked anymore. It happens a lot, and these players should be being paid for their play, and then that would really take a lot of this out of the equation. But even the recruiting is just, there's so much pressure on the coaches and stuff, and it's, if they don't win, they get fired, and the universities, I think, have just got things a little bit backward, and they're putting too much emphasis on sports and football, and it's driven by television. And this is the thing that happens, in the professional leagues, it's the steroids and things like that, because those guys are fighting for jobs, and it's just all entertainment. It's just got to stop somewhere, and it won't stop until the presidents take control of this.
You make a lot of interesting points kind of looking at it at the big scale, and we'll come back to that in a minute. But I guess first and foremost, looking at it from WVU's perspective, at this point nothing has been alleged that's actually happened in Morgantown. That said, they are doing an internal review to try to see what Joe DeForest may have done and if any of those practices came into Morgantown. How should WVU proceed here? Are they doing the right thing so far? And what's your reaction there?
Well, my reaction is just a basic duck and cover. They might make a change there with the one guy, the coach who was mentioned, DeForest, but I would feel better if they had some outside independent investigators come in and look at this. And it doesn't even have to be the NCAA. And again, maybe the Board of Governors should do this, or some type of faculty senate. But I wouldn't be comfortable with the athletic department investigating themselves on this. I think they need someone outside.
That's an interesting point, especially when you look at it and depending on what ends up coming out, you're looking at this point, it's just a big if, but if DeForest is found to have paid the players, then the next obvious question is, did it happen at WVU? And then I think the next big one is, Dana Holgorsen worked with Joe DeForest for a year at Oklahoma State before hiring him as his defensive coordinator. So what did he know? When did he know it? And those are questions that potentially down the road could have to be answered, I would think.
It depends on who asks the questions. I think if an independent investigation is held, I believe that those questions will be asked. If it's in-house, I don't know if those questions will be asked.
And going back at the bigger scale, college athletics as it is today, you made a number of interesting points there, and the point that some people either want to believe or still do believe that the universities are more about representing the state and themselves, whereas I think I tend to agree with you where the direction of things is it's more of a big business more than anything else, and as a result, when you have a big business trying to coexist with the academic world, a lot of issues kind of arise from that situation that probably should have never been merged in the first place.
I agree. I think that universities have to stay in business, but they need to be getting more help maybe from the states and legislatures and things like that, where their funding comes from. But to base on TV, based on the success of your football and your basketball programs, and then to base your academic well-being on the success of your football and basketball programs and stuff. It's just, I think you're just asking for trouble, and time and time again it shows up. Schools get trouble.
Dave, I appreciate your time. I have a feeling we'll probably delve some more into this topic and just kind of everything that springs out of it. But thanks for joining us here, and please continue to check TheDPost.com for all the latest on the Mountaineers. Thanks for joining us.